The human psyche is a vault that contains the dark aspects of oneself that you might not be comfortable showing to the public. The white-hot gaze of your peers is enough to completely change your entire personality. But how do we go back and learn to accept ourselves for who we truly are? For some, it is as simple as a question and answer session. A test, if you will. Good evening. Allow me a brief moment to introduce myself. Do not mistake the familiar form that I have taken as the person that you know. I can assure you, I am not that person. For all intents and purposes, you may refer to me as the bookkeeper. And all that I ask is that you simply sit back, relax, ensure that your beverages have been topped off, your snacks have been restocked, and that you clutch your loved ones close, should you have any. And above all else, enjoy tonight's program. This is a game called The Test. It is a simple yes or no question type game, and it is meant to be a type of psychological evaluation, almost. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just get into it. Hello, friend. Now, in order to begin, this is the most important part of this entire experience. Let me get my mouse off screen. You'll be asked a series of questions, and you must answer them honestly. Now, when I say answer them honestly, I don't mean answer them how you'd like to answer them. Answer them with truth, even if that's hard to face. We all want to be good people. We rarely want to admit our faults, grievances, or mistakes. But you must decide what you truly want. Do you want this to work properly? Do you want the truth about yourself, your destiny in this world? Or would you rather live a lie just to hide from yourself? The process is very simple in theory. Just answer a long series of questions. What's difficult? What's difficult is self-analyzing your own psyche to evaluate the truths in your own mind and life so that you can predict your future. You see, as long as you're honest with these questions and answers, you'll be able to see your own future here. This will tell you things you already know, but don't necessarily know that you know. As long as the answers you provide to the questions are asked are 100% honest and true, this process will simply unlock a part of your mind that you do not have a natural access to. This isn't psychic. This isn't a personality test. This is simply nature. This is you. This is your own mind. This is simply nature taking its course. This is the human brain at work unlocking hidden truths within itself. While attempting to answer many of these questions, you'll often wonder things like, well, this answer depends on the circumstances. Create your own circumstances in your mind and answer the questions with a simple yes or no as you see fit. You may not understand nor realize it, but your mind will simply develop the situation required to answer your question the way it needs to be answered. I invite you to grab a drink of water, sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience. We are about to begin with a series of questions, and provided that you're a willing participant, we will be unlocking some substantial information today. Here we go. Do you believe that everyone should always be treated fairly? Yes. Do you believe that everyone should always be treated equally? Yes. Have you ever invented anything? No, not really. Do you believe that you are worthy of someone's time investment? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be open-minded? Yes. Would you say that you sometimes have trust issues? Yeah, I can. Would you be alright with living alone forever? Yes. Do you always give someone the benefit of the doubt? Much to my own detriment, yes. Do you dislike the sound of your own voice? No, not really. Do you like the color blue more than the color black? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I wear a lot of black. I don't wear very many colors, per se, but, that's just because I like to wear black. I just think it looks good. But I do enjoy the color blue. If you found money on the street and knew who it belonged to, would you give it back to them? Yeah. Are you sure you want the answers you seek? Yeah. Are you afraid of spiders? Yes, absolutely. If you knew you would emerge unscathed, would you jump into molten lava? Yes, I love doing things for science. Would you consider yourself to be fat? I got a belly. And fat's not a bad thing to be. It's not derogatory. I don't personally feel that fat is a bad word. So yeah, I consider myself to be fat. Yes. Would you say that you have lots of charisma? People have told me I have charisma, so yeah, I tend to believe that. Have you ever wished you could be temporarily frozen? No. This is all very interesting. Did you realize that the last letter of the previous 5 questions, when put together, spell the name Satan? No. Does that make you uncomfortable? No. Are you good at finding hidden puzzles or clues? Not really, no. Are you now wondering what other hidden messages are placed within these questions? No, not really. Have you been entirely honest with your answers thus far? Yes. Are you afraid of the consequences for answering questions dishonestly? Nah. Not in this instance, no. Were you aware that there could be potential consequences for answering dishonestly? No. Are you wondering how these questions began to take a strange turn? Not really, no. Would you consider yourself captivated? By this, yes, absolutely. Very interesting. Would you consider yourself to be brave? When it counts, yes. Do you view yourself as someone with above average intelligence? I'm pretty smart. Like, I downplay it a lot by, like, making jokes that, like, I'm stupid or that I'm dumb or whatever, but for the most part, no. I would say comparatively, yeah, I'm just gonna say yes. Have you been looking for hidden messages in these questions? Nope. Are you wondering which hidden messages you may have missed? Nope. Okay, I'm intentionally oblivious to a lot of things, because if you're going to tell me something, just tell me it. I can handle it. I've you know, like, dude, it's not that big a deal. Just say something. Have you begun to wonder how long this test will take, or how many questions exist in this session? No, and that's because of the research that I have done on, like, Jungian psychology and psychology in general, and, like, trying to make myself better. I went through, like, a really big spell where I had a really bad identity crisis, and the only way that I could think to fix that was by studying psychology and how to sort of give myself the help that I needed by being introspective and stuff. And I understand that that is an ongoing journey, so when you go to take that journey, you don't question how long it'll take, because you understand that it's a forever thing. You're constantly changing, you're constantly evolving. Even in the few seconds that I'm taking to explain this, I'm changing as a person. I'm constantly evolving into another form of myself. So the idea of wondering how much longer this is going to take, that will breed negative results if you're trying to be better. So no. Would you consider yourself to be a patient person? Yeah, I can take a lot. Do most humans annoy you? They don't annoy me so much as they concern me. Do you prefer animals to people? Yes. Wildly. Do you believe in magic? Yeah, I believe in magic. Do you believe in God or the existence of some form of higher power? I don't believe in God. But I do believe that the universe has a way of influencing us and the people around, and the circumstances that we're in. That's because I believe that because we are made of the same stuff that the universe is made out of, the 4 major elements. I can't list them off the top of my head, but I know that the same stuff that makes up the majority of the universe makes up the majority of our bodies. So I tend to believe that, like, if it's in the universe, if it's in space, and if it also makes up the planets and the gravitational pull of things, I believe that same stuff influences our lives, and that's, for me, it's very hard to deny that. So I would say yes, I believe in the universe, in the cosmos. Do you fear death? No. Are you attracted to someone whom you're not currently in a relationship with? Attraction can be defined as many different things. You could find someone visually appealing, as in like from like a sexual standpoint, or even an aesthetically pleasing standpoint, and you could be attracted to that. I don't believe all attraction is as simple and as rudimentary as sexual or romantical. I think you can be platonically attracted to somebody. Like, I am attracted to this person, and that's why we're such good friends. So yeah, I would say yeah, I'm attracted to someone like that. Did you answer that last question with 100% honesty? In my mind, yes. Are you alone? Right now, yeah. Are you sure? Well, I mean, I have my cats here, but I guess I would count that as alone. If I told you with utmost certainty that there's something watching you, would you believe me? No. Have you wondered who I am? No, not really. You're a video game. Have you had shivers at any point during this session? Not because of the session, but because my house is currently at like 68 degrees, because it is currently 103 degrees outside, so saith my computer. So, yeah. Do you feel like you're being watched? No. I mean, unless you count the people watching this video. How's it going? Have you considered quitting this session early? No, I need content. Do you drink water every day? Not every day, but I drink water at least 5 to 6 times a week. 5 to 6 days a week. Do you eat at least once per day every day? Yes. Do you realize that there's a high probability that you've missed a plethora of hidden messages thus far? Nope. Do you realize that you just missed another one? Nope. Are you wondering what they are? Not really, no. If I missed it, then I wasn't meant to see it. Would it bother you to never know without finding them yourself? Nope. Is your favorite number 7? Nope. Your life is short, but it's the longest thing we'll ever do. Do you agree? Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Life is short in comparison to the rest of the universe, the ever-expanding nothingness that, currently, that we currently reside in. In comparison to the universe, our lives being an average of 80 to 90 years at a time, let's say the maximum that you can live is 100 years, that's still a blink in comparison to the rest of the universe. So yes, life is incredibly short, but on the flip side of that same coin, you start life from the minute that you start breathing, and it ends when you stop the minute that you die. So, and that is, in essence, the longest thing you will ever do. It's the only thing that is a constant that you even if you choose to Kermit sewer slide, we'll call it that for YouTube terms of services and stuff like that. Life is still the longest thing you've engaged in. Everything else just kind of comes and goes. So yes, I agree. Oranges cannot be compared to apples. Do you agree? Yeah, I agree with that, because oranges go in. You drink orange juice and eat orange slices. Apples go in pies, but you can't put orange in a pie, because you can't put an orange in a pie the same way you would an apple. So, yeah, I agree. They're two different fruits. Venus is sometimes referred to as the morning star. Did you know that? Yes, I did. I love space. Everyone deserves a second chance. Do you agree? For all intents and purposes, yes. I just believe that when you give someone a second chance, certain conditions need to be amended. I'm not going to go into detail. I'll let you figure that one out for yourself, but that's my personal stance on it. If you're going to give someone a second chance, that second chance, the situation, the conditions need to be amended in a certain way. You can do anything you put your mind to. Do you agree? Absolutely. Obedience is more important than freedom. Do you agree? Short answer, no. I'm not going to take the time to explain this because it's a lot of political thinking, and I don't want to get into that. Underwater adventures sound like a fun time. Do you agree? No. I love space. Not a big fan of the ocean. Turtles pee in the ocean, and I'm not trying to drink that. Did you realize that the first letters of the previous 8 questions spelled the phrase "I love you"? No. Do you wish to be loved? I already am loved, but yes. Have you ever felt hated? Oh, yeah. Do you have any addictions? Unfortunately, yes. Do you dislike the color pink? No, I love pink. Does the color gray seem depressing? No. Gray to me means rain. Like gray skies typically yield rain, and rain is very cleansing, and that's not depressing. Being clean and being cleansed is not depressing to me. Do you enjoy loud music? Absolutely. Do you like to dance? Absolutely. Would you consider yourself normal? For my definition of normal, yes. Do you love your parents? That's a complicated answer. That's also a complicated question. So, I grew up in an abusive household. So my father and I are not that close. And my stepdad recently walked out on my mom about a year ago. And I'm not down with that. And then my mom, I have a complicated relationship with. I tend to keep her at arm's length. But for... I love them the way that you would love a family member. I hope that they're all doing very well. There's 2 people in that equation that I want nothing to do with. And my mom, like I said, I keep at arm's length. But I do love my parents, yes. Have you ever been lied to? Oh, yeah. Do you get angry often? Not anymore, no. Do you hold grudges? No. Have you ever forgiven someone? Oh yeah, plenty of times. Have you ever done something that you knew you shouldn't have done, but still did it anyway? I think if you were ever a child, you've done this, yeah. Have you ever lied? Yeah. Have you ever cheated on a test? Probably, yeah. You won't cheat this test. Okay. Do you think flowers are more beautiful than trees? No, I think they're beautiful in different ways. I think they're equally as beautiful in different ways. Have you ever wanted to be an animal instead of a person? No. No, not really. Do you believe you have psychic powers? No. No. Have you ever seen a ghost? I have not. Do you dream often? Yeah. Do you have nightmares often? No, not really. Do you suffer from anxiety attacks? Yes, I do. Do you suffer from depression? Absolutely. Do you exercise often and stay active? I try to exercise at least 3 times a week, yeah. Is there a particular type of food that you despise? Broccoli. Oh, I hate broccoli. Would you consider yourself emotionally wounded? Again, a very complicated question. I would say I'm in a state of emotional recovery, I would say, and that's an ongoing process from, years and years of abuse. And trauma. I would say I guess from that standpoint, then yes, I would say emotionally wounded, yes. Have you ever felt betrayed? Absolutely. Do you ever feel lost in life? Sometimes. Not recently, but yeah, sometimes. Would you consider yourself a natural leader? I would never willingly just instantaneously pick up the mantle of leadership. But if it was bestowed upon me, where if the opportunity came up and it was like, okay, well, we need a leader, and somebody had appointed me to lead, then I could do it, yes. So I would say, yeah, sure. If you could push a button and destroy the world, would you press it? It would solve a lot of the world's problems, but no. I don't think I could handle that kind of responsibility. Do you sometimes dream of being a hero? I dream of helping people. I don't necessarily think helping people makes someone a hero. I just think it makes you a decent human being, so no. Have you ever been bullied? Absolutely. Have you ever bullied someone else? Probably, yeah. Would you consider yourself to be a dreamer? All day. All day. Do you sometimes hurt people's feelings unintentionally? Yes. Absolutely. Sometimes. Do you find space fascinating? Absolutely. I love space. Would you consider yourself to be an artist? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say making YouTube videos is an art. of some kind. It's a type of filmmaking, so yeah. Which in and of itself is an art form. Would you consider yourself to be a good friend? Often to my own detriment, yes. Would you consider yourself to be flawed? Absolutely. Anybody who doesn't think they're flawed needs to seek therapy immediately, because you might be a narcissist. I'm just saying. If you think you're absolutely perfect, like you legitimately believe that, you might have some things going on. Go talk to somebody, a professional preferably. Have you ever fantasized about being a supervillain or performing a heinous and egregious crime? That kind of comes with having intrusive thoughts, because like when people think of intrusive thoughts, they think like, oh, I'm cutting up like vegetables for dinner or something like that, and it's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we just, and it's like, okay, calm down, bro. But like, you can have those same kind of thoughts about like, okay, well, what if I just to the person next to me? Intrusive thoughts just kind of happen like that. It gets easier to ignore those thoughts and silence them, where it's just like, okay, bro, like seriously, come on. So yeah, I guess you could say I have. Do you believe in perfection? No. Perfection and the idea of perfection in and of itself is an imperfect idea, because we have absolutely no point of reference for how perfection is meant to look, how it's meant to feel, how it's meant to sound, how it's meant to taste. We have no point of reference for how perfection is meant to be. So the idea of trying to obtain perfection is just a very faulty, unreliable idea. I do not believe in perfection at all whatsoever. It is much more ascertainable to be. It is much more obtainable to be better, and pursue betterment, because you'll actually feel like you're getting progress on that. And there's always room for improvement. So if that's the case, perfection is always out of reach. That's just me though. Have you ever stolen from someone? Yeah. Would you ever kill someone under any circumstances? You know, yeah, I would. If someone had come to my home and was threatening to kill me and my wife and my cats, or anybody that was close to me for that matter, if they had come to my home with the intent of doing harm, then I feel like at that point I would probably, if I couldn't convince them to leave and they were adamant that they were going to kill us, then at that point it's me or that person. So yes, I would. If you had one day to live, would you tell anyone? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gotta tell my boss I'm not coming into work ever again, so. Have you ever told your darkest secrets to someone? Yes. Do you trust me even though you know nothing about me? I mean, yeah, you're a program that I installed on my PC. That means at some point I had to trust you. Do you know who I am? You are a program on my PC. If I appeared behind you right now, would you scream? No. If I told you that I've been behind you this entire time, would that scare you? No, there's a camera right there, and like that wall behind me is not too far away from me, so yeah, no, it wouldn't. Of course not. That would be silly now, wouldn't it? Would you consider yourself to be empathetic? Yeah, much to a fault. Would you consider yourself to be romantic? Romantic in the sense of, okay, my wife would agree, would argue that I am not anymore, because I don't do all the things that I did in high school when I was a hopeless romantic. When you're with someone for as long as I've been with my wife, you tend to learn how that person ticks. So I'm romantic in the way that she needs me to be, which to other people would not be romantic. I used to sit here and complain that I'm not as romantic as I used to be, and like once you realize that, like, okay, no, you're not romantic in the traditional sense of being romantic, you know, you buy the flowers and you take them dancing and you know, whatever. I'm romantic in the sense of I will scream our favorite songs together in the car on the way to a friend's house, or I will, you know, pay for fast food every once in a while, and that's, you know, and I show my wife romance in the form of her love language, and just the same as she shows me romance in the way of my love language. So yeah, I guess I could consider myself romantic. More rom-com, but you know, hey, whatever. Have you ever been in a physical fight? Many times. Many times. Are you prone to headaches or migraines? No. Do you look at the ground when you walk? Yeah, sometimes. Are you attracted to the opposite sex? Yes. Would you ever shave your head? I have shaved my head. Are you attracted to muscular bodies? Not in like a sexual way, or even like a romantic way. I think I kind of look at it the same way that I would look at art. Like bodybuilding is an art form to me because you're taking the time to research what you need to eat, how much of something you need to eat, like how many calories you need to intake, and then you're searching, you're figuring out ways to build up certain muscles, and you're doing that research, and then you're putting in the time. Sorry, that was a lot. And then you're putting in the time to build up that area of your body. So I would say I'm attracted to it in the same way that like a piece of art, a painting, a drawing, a sketch would attract me to it. So yeah. Do you ever dance when no one is looking? Yeah, all the time. Do you trust your best friend entirely? Yes. Do you remember your childhood extremely well? I mean, trauma is embedded into my psyche, so there's a lot of things I kind of have to remember because I'm not really given much choice. Would you rob a bank if you could get away with it? No, I've played Payday 2. I'm good. That's too much. Do you ever dream about running from a killer? No. It's weird. Do you ever dream about falling off a cliff? I have dreamed about falling off a cliff, yes. Do you ever dream about being naked in public? God, do I. I hate clothing. Do you enjoy scary movies or books? Yeah, I enjoy. Do you enjoy comedic television? Yes. Do you like being the center of attention? I'm not... Okay, I don't go out of my way to be the center of attention, but if I end up being the center of attention, then I don't mind it so much. So I guess, yeah, sure. Do you feel like something is always watching you? No. Come on, I'm not paranoid. Not anymore, anyway. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go into space? Yes! I would love to go to space. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? So, I'm gonna tell this story because number one, I love wrestling, and anytime I watch wrestling, it's just a lot of fun. When I was about 6 or 7, I think a friend of mine had taped, his dad had taped the Undertaker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell, and I got to watch it with my friend. And watching Undertaker throw Mankind off the top of the cell, which is like 30 feet in the air, onto the Spanish announcer's desk, oh my god, like everything in the room just like it like somebody had turned the volume down and put like a muffled sort of like a sound dampener over them, where it was an out-of-body experience in the sense of like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. So yeah, I've had an out-of-body experience. That was the first time. Have you ever punched a nun? Huh? No. Do you like dogs better than cats? No. Do you prefer to read more than you prefer to watch movies? No. For as much as I say that, like, oh, well, I could just, like, trade video game time or doing this for reading, books just don't hold my attention the way that they used to. Movies, on the other hand, I've got something visually stimulating for me, so it holds my attention a bit better, so... are you still wondering why I asked you if you punched a nun? You know, yeah, actually. Do you get starstruck easily? Yeah, I'd say so. Do you hate going to big parties and social gatherings? This is a yes and no question, actually. I mean, I guess for all intents and purposes of the question, yes, I hate going to big parties and social gatherings. But for me, it depends on who's hosting, where the location is. If it's at a place that I've never been to with people I've never met, and I only know maybe 1 or 2 people there, I'm anxious as fuck and I'm trying to get the hell out of there. But if it's like at my in-laws' house or at a friend's house, I don't mind it so much. I enjoy it. So, you know, do I hate going to big parties and social gatherings? I guess with all of that being said, considering that those are really the only social gatherings that I go to, I'd have to say no. Is your favorite part of your birthday receiving gifts? No. No. Seriously, though, have you ever punched a nun? Like, really? Just bam, right in the face. Nun punch. No. Did you laugh? I did. Did you say what the fuck in your head or even allowed? Yes, absolutely. Are you now eager to somehow get the opportunity to punch a numb sometime soon? I mean, I don't typically like to hit old ladies, or people who don't deserve it. So I'm gonna say no. If there is a hell, do you think you're going to it? Yeah, probably. Do you enjoy fantasy fiction games? Yeah. Do you masturbate frequently? Yeah. Are you wondering what constitutes frequently? No, not really. Are you more than slightly uncomfortable right now? No, masturbation is not, unless it is being done in an obscene way. If you're just like, if you're at your house and you go to the bathroom and you rub one out real quick, or you're laying in bed by yourself and you're like, I just, feel like doing, it's not that weird of a thing. Masturbation in and of itself is not a weird thing. Now, where you do it and the context in which you are doing it is that can be weird and uncomfortable, but I don't think masturbation as a natural response, as a natural thing, is not, an uncomfortable thing. Is your mouth dry? Nope, I got my drink right here. Does profanity make you uncomfortable? Fuck no. Do you believe in legendary beasts such as the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot? Yes, I do. Are you poor with money management? No. Choose one of these numbers that you feel resonates with you the most in this very moment. 21. Yeah, the obvious answer would be 69. No, 21. Choose one of these colors that you feel resonates with you most in this very moment. Purple. Purple's my favorite color. Choose one of these words. Probably plagued with acid reflux. My chest is burning. Choose one of these words. Celestial. I feel celestial right now. Choose one of these words. Luck. Absolutely luck. Do you enjoy solving mathematical puzzles? No. Math sucks. I hate math. Do you speak more than one language fluently? No. Have you ever visited a country other than your own? Yes, Mexico. Do you enjoy coffee? I like coffee. Do you believe in demons? Yes. Do you believe in angels? I guess if I'm going to believe in demons, I should believe in angels, yes. Are you afraid of sharks? No. But if I was swimming in water with them, I might be a bit paranoid. But sharks don't typically just go after humans. The only reason why you hear a lot of horror stories about like sharks going after like surfers is because when they look up at a surfboard and you're paddling and stuff, they look at that and you're like, oh, that's a fish. That's shaped like a fish. That's food, But like typically for the most part, sharks don't really mess with humans too much. But I guess to that extent, I guess I would say, yeah, sure. Do you prefer baths over showers? No. If I'm taking a shower, it's to get in very quickly, clean up. I mean, like, yeah, I take about a 30-minute shower. And that's also a thing with my trauma. I won't go into detail about it. But I take a 30-minute shower because I like being under the water, but I don't like sitting down in the bathtub. It's just, I don't know why. I don't like it. Does the smell of perfume or cologne give you headaches? No, not really. Did you see a shadow move in your room a few moments ago? No. That's fortunate. Do you ever hear your name being called even when you know no one is calling it? Yeah, sometimes. I get a little weirded out. Do things in your home often go missing and then reappear later? Yeah, but only because I misplaced them and I'm stupid and I don't remember where I put them, and it usually takes my wife just being like, babe, it's right in front of your fucking face, and I'm just like, yeah. So, only because I'm an idiot. Do you ever hear footsteps around you when you're alone? No. Do you ever hear random knocking noises around you? No. Do you often look the same time on the clock every single day? Yeah, buddy. When I'm at work and it's almost break time, I'm checking that shit every single day. Come on now. Have you ever felt your feet being grabbed at night while sleeping? Yeah, but I have a cat and he don't like feet. Or maybe he does like feet. I don't know. But yeah, I have a cat and he messes with my feet sometimes. Do you have any pets? I have 2 cats. Is your favorite color green? My wife is going to be very upset with me because my favorite color is not green, even though that is her current hair color. My favorite color is purple. Are you attracted to a family member? No. If you won the lottery, would you share the money with anyone? Yeah. If you could be the dictator of your own country, would you accept the role? No. To quote Rod Serling kind of loosely, I would not want to stamp my boot print on the pages of history in such a way. Dictators don't often get remembered, like, pleasantly. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be in prison? No, I'm good. Do you like fishing? I love fishing! Do you like hunting? I've never been hunting. So, I have no point of reference there. Do you like camping? Yeah. I can enjoy it. Do you like guns? I have a few, yes. Are you getting tired of answering questions? Nope. I need content. Would you consider yourself to be kinky? Yeah. Eyes are the windows of the soul. Do you agree? Yeah, sure. You can typically figure out really quickly if you look into someone's eyes, unless they've just gotten really good at the art of lying. You can typically look into someone's eyes and realize, like, if you ask them what's wrong and they're like, oh no, I'm fine. You can look in their eyes and just be like, no, you're not. You're definitely not. Especially when you learn to, like, read that sort of thing. Do you always keep your promises? I don't make promises. I don't. I do not make promises because I cannot, as an adult, I cannot promise you that I will be at your thing, or that I'll be able to commit to something, or that, oh yeah, no, I'll get this done, no worries. I can't make those promises. So I guess you could say, do you always keep your promises? How do you keep promises that you never make? So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say no. Would you ever completely trust someone who's lied to you? I have, and I do. Are you an only child? Nope, I am the oldest of 2. Do you ever enjoy being drunk? All the time. I'm not an alcoholic, but I do enjoy being drunk. Do you like tattoos? Yeah. I mean, I'd say so. Yeah. Do you enjoy being high in any form? Yes, yes. Do you believe you have a soul? Yes. Did you cry this week? Not this week. Are you upset with someone right now? I wouldn't say upset. I would say disappointed. I guess that would be a form of being upset with that person. But it's not upset in the traditional way, like, oh, I'm so angry at this person, I don't want to talk to him. I'm just kind of disappointed with them. Is there someone you're not being completely honest with daily? No, I'm typically a very honest person with people. Do you understand how this works yet? I think so, yeah. If you answer the questions twice, your truths may change. It's not just about answering the questions. It's about the time you spend answering them and the combination you answer them in. It's about many different variables you'd never guess. Do you understand? Yeah. Because I understand it because, like, we are constantly evolving and changing as people, regardless of if we notice it or not, or if other people around us notice it. Even if you take steps to be the same, you're still changing. You're evolving. Whether you want to or not. That's how life goes. You can only ever move forward. The speed at which you move forward is completely up to you. And, you know, I don't necessarily believe that you can be stagnant. I think you can still move forward, just in slow motion. That being said, you know, I understand how this works, and the idea that, okay, if we're gonna throw like these random questions at you, and, you know, we're gonna give you different orders every single time, different orders of questions every single time you play this game. So, and, you know, your answers will eventually change. Like, I don't know, the question of, would you ever trust somebody that has lied to you? That could change, because someone could have lied to you that day that you played this game, and you're like, no, I would never trust that person again. You give it like a couple of weeks, or for me, a couple of days, and we talk about it, then I'm like, okay, well, I could learn to trust you again. I could trust you again, and I have done that before. Are you wondering if the end of the test is coming soon based on the previous question you just answered? No, and that's because I understand that this sort of thing, this sort of like evaluating the self, is a constant stream of questions that don't really end. So, yeah. No. If I were to tell you that this entire process was planted here for you, specifically you, to learn something about yourself, and anyone else that bothers using this is just a byproduct of its intention, would you believe that? I believe that the universe works in very mysterious ways, in the way of, like, giving us things and putting us in situations and introducing concepts to us in a way that we can learn from them and draw qualities out of that, and then inherit those same qualities. But I don't believe in this instance that this game was... I don't believe I bought this game just on a whim. It was introduced to me by Markiplier and MatPat, and I wanted to play it because I wanted to see what my answers would be. Therefore, I cannot, with full honesty, say that I don't believe that this game was made just for me, and that everybody else using it is just, you know, okay, whatever, you're just there using it. So no, I don't believe that this game was put in my life specifically for me. Are you afraid of being abandoned? I'm not afraid of being abandoned so much as I'm afraid of losing the relationships that I have with people right now. So I guess, yeah, you could say I am afraid of being abandoned. I would be afraid of those people just up and leaving me. However, am I afraid of dying alone? No. I would rather die by myself and have all of the people that I know and love die before me so that I know that they were taken care of up until the very end of their life. I would rather be the last person standing for that purpose. Do you worry that one day you'll be unexpectedly murdered? Not to get political, but in today's day and age, I do fear for it. Like, I was at... for all intents and purposes, we'll say somebody's graduation recently, and I was incredibly nervous. I will say I was incredibly nervous. So yeah. Are you always on guard, waiting to fend off an attack? Same exact thing. I was at this graduation, and my head was on a swivel. I don't know what I could have done in that situation, should that situation have arisen, but I was definitely on guard. Do you feel like I know you yet? No. Have you heard any strange noises while answering these questions? No. I think we have enough information about you. Whether you skipped questions, answered honestly or dishonestly, took loads of time to respond, or answered quickly without reading or understanding properly, I've been able to tell. I'm calculating your results. I'm analyzing you very carefully. I'm judging you. Based on what you've told me, this is what I can conclude. People would do real well to start taking you a bit more seriously and listening to you a lot more often. Your intelligence is incredibly underrated, even by your own standards. If a zombie apocalypse were ever to occur, you'd be everyone's best friend because their relationship with you wouldn't be an option. It would simply be a necessity to survive. Well, that makes me feel really good about myself, actually, that people would, like, in a zombie apocalypse situation, my friendship having a friendship with me would be the difference between somebody living or dying in that situation. And that, honestly, it sounds like it's a lot of responsibility, but if I'm being perfectly honest, it feels good knowing that, you know, even if it's being told to me by a program, a set of codes and numbers. You have so much to offer to this world and those around you, but you absolutely must make your talents and knowledge readily available. People are often too afraid to ask you for your opinion at times. Even when they do, they're afraid of your truths. That's just, hey, look, I don't know if you believe in, like, the Zodiac and whatever, but, like, that's just part of being a Sagittarius. We're incredibly blunt people. I don't have time to beat around the bush. And quite honestly, the faster you get the knowledge that I'm trying to give you into your brain, and the faster that you accept that, the better off you will be, I promise you. Because life has treated me that way very, very often, where it's like, hey, we're not gonna like, life has been very steadfast and stalwart in its messages for me, in that it didn't want to waste any time, because it was like, we need to get you on the track to success and the track to being better right now, and this is where you're going, and you kind of get jerked into that direction. That's what's happened to me my entire life. So, hey, I treat other people the way that I prefer to be treated, which is don't bullshit me. Just send me on my way in the proper direction, please. You're not like others. You're special. Not everyone's going to cut it in this life, and that's an unfortunate fact. But you, now you, on the other hand, are going to thrive no matter what happens. You've got what it takes to take any project to the next level, whether it's working on your own or as a part of a team. You're underrated, you're underappreciated, and you're often misunderstood. It's not fair, but life isn't fair, and it never will be. Life will always be what you make it, and you've got some insane amounts of potential. Ultimately, it's still up to you what you decide to do with it. One thing I will say, however, is that you need to snap out of the false reality that you tend to live in sometimes. The world you've managed to escape in escape to in your head, while much better than the world around you, is not going to get you anywhere in life. Are you saying I'm delusional, game? Actions are what makes things happen. Actions will take you to the next level, not just sitting in your head all day long. Let this be the swift kick in the ass you need to be productive and take things to the next level. I don't have the money for it, but I'm buying a $2,000 webcam right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm not getting up out of this chair. I have done enough traveling for today. I'm good. Don't waste any more time. Just kick ass and allow yourself the successful life you deserve. Your secret word is order. So all of this stuff that comes after, this was whenever they were still developing the game. I actually did look this up. I watched Markiplier and MacLeod play it just to kind of get an idea for what I was getting myself into. All this stuff is not important. So if you want to pause and read it, you can. But other than that, I'd say this test is complete. And I'll see you in the next test.
When traversing the treacherous twists and turns of the maze that is the human psyche, one must take in mind that perfection, in and of itself, is an imperfect idea. Seeing as we have absolutely no point of reference for what perfection looks and feels like, one can only traverse the path to betterment. It is through these tests that we realize that betterment is the easier goal to obtain, although still one that you must work very hard for. Thank you so much for enjoying tonight's program. And ensure that you take this with you as you go. The world's cruelty knows no bounds. So one must practice kindness, not only to each other, but to oneself. Join me next week when we take another test to ensure that we stay on the path to betterment. So long, and good night.